Okay, so just setting everything up, just making sure everything is switched on, various screens are all working. And we are at 4 o'clock on Friday, the 23rd of October. Welcome to another live stream from SF Digital. My name is Frozana. I'm glad to be back here again. So today I'm going to be talking about how we use Asana for our productivity. But before I get into the topic, just to let everyone know, if you've been with us before, you will know that we are keeping a track of the comments. So do feel free to ask any questions as we go through the presentation. And of course, if you are new to us, please do feel free to interact, put any comments in, whether you hopefully like the presentation, and of course, if you have any questions on productivity. If you do have any Google Ads specific questions, you get Monday to Thursday with Uzair. So please do save your questions for Uzair. He will, of course, get back to you, or you can catch up with him again on Monday. But today's presentation will specifically be non-Google Ads related. Okay, so as I say, welcome to how we use Asana. For those of you that have been with me for the last couple of weeks, you will know that I have been talking about productivity. So a fortnight ago, I was talking about productivity in terms of your own productivity and how to keep yourself bolstered and tied in with, all the different things you could be doing to help yourself. Last week, I went through my favorite top 10 tips. And today I'm going to focus on Asana because that is something that we use every day. It's probably the first thing, perhaps even almost before email, we will be in our Asana to know what we're doing. So today we will talk about productivity. So how can we get more productive? Well, I don't know about you, but cloning myself is not going to be an option. It's not quite been made possible yet. Time travel isn't going to happen. Even I've not managed to figure out how I can get in two places at once. So we have a couple of options open. We can think about outsourcing or employing more people. And that is absolutely fine. That's a great way of growing your business and getting more things done. Again, last week I talked about how no matter how much I may find ironing a great little hobby, because I find it quite productive. I get a sense of achievement because you can see a very nice, neat pile of ironing. No amount of ironing is going to get me to be more productive in my day job. Time to outsource that. Let somebody else get on with that. So employing more people, allowing them to help you, outsourcing through the many platforms there are there to give jobs out to people is a possibility. But of course, before you can do that, you've actually got to know what you're going to outsource or what tasks you're going to give these additional people. And that's where it becomes really important that you are able to create and use some systems and workflows that are going to be able to help you pass on those tasks. And for us, as we are today, that's where Asana comes in. Now, historically, even today, we still use spreadsheets, lists. We've used other platforms. There are many, many project management type apps out there now. You might look at Trello, Basecamp, Monday, numerous options out there. I'm not advocating any one over the other. I'm just talking about what we have found particularly useful. And for us, that is Asana. So if you go into the Asana admin panel, you'll be able to get a quick snapshot of exactly how many things you've got on the go. In our case, we've created 15 different teams. Some of those teams are overlaps of similar people. So for example, Uzair and I tend to be on probably 99% of all teams, even each other's teams. We are both there just to keep an eye on things. Clearly, the dashboard is saying that there are 460 projects up there. And amazingly, and that seems to have gone up 2,000 since a couple of days ago when it was 75,000, we're at 77,000 plus tasks, individual tasks within Asana. And as you can see, our productivity of activity that we're doing, they're all on the up. There's 50% more teams, there's 10% more projects, 10% more tasks. So that's quite a significant number when you're looking at 77,000. But how do we manage to keep on track of all of that? So just to give you a little quick screen grab of some of my items within Asana. You can certainly set up your favorites. So you can have a look and keep very easily. There's no way you can keep 460 projects all at the forefront of your mind. So by making some particular projects your favorites, you can shortcut to your dashboard and see exactly which ones you are working on currently. Another great feature is that you can create reports. So there are some defaults that Asana gives you, such as tasks I've created, tasks I've assigned to others. They're standard for everybody. But it is extremely easy in Asana to set up your own bespoke reports, and they can be as detailed as you need them to be. Almost to, for example, I want to find out on X project, all the team members, which are the tasks that are outstanding in the last 7 days. And you can play with all those variables. There are a number of filters that you can use. I'm not going to talk too much about reports today. That's almost a topic in its own right. And then I've just done a couple of quick screenshots to show you this little column here and this one here, some of the types of teams that we've got on the go. And they have multiple staff members involved, or indeed, like I say, for example, work comms, Uzair and I are the two that are able to get into that particular team. But individually, all our staff have their own works comms project so that we can communicate with them as we need to. So I'm just going to take you and give you a quick screenshot of the SF Digital Content Marketing team. This is a team that's very close to my heart. We've been putting this team together actively in the last 6 months. Some of these individuals have been with us for 2-3 years plus, if not a little bit longer. But the last 6 months, because of the way the world has gone and because of the COVID situation, it's become imperative that our teams have worked even more effectively and collaboratively than they ever did before. If anything, the remote working has shown us that we really do need to have a great communication between our teams to be able to work effectively and get the jobs done. So for example, at the moment, this particular team, the SFD Content Marketing team, I did a quick count in one of my reports. There are actually 88 live projects. That's 88 videos that are currently being worked on by the team that are all live, bar, as you can clearly see, the odd one which is on hold for whatever the reason. You will also see that they're all clearly color coded, so I can know immediately on a snapshot that which ones are live videos, which ones are short videos, which ones are social media videos, which ones are customer testimonials. There's a whole sequence of video styles that we create, and this allows me to have a very quick screenshot of where I'm up to. So without going into Asana and setting up a fresh job, I've created a little sample project of some of the work that we do on our videos. So this is a process set up for looking after the live videos, i.e. a video like today. This video, today's video, just like all our other live videos, will go through a process of tasks as per this particular template that I'm using for demo purposes today. So why do I need to have this? Well, for one of the things, it makes it really easy to make sure that any links and associated folders, spreadsheets, etc. are all in the same place. So instead of having to go to a particular spreadsheet or a particular folder, everything is set up in our essential info. So if I just take you back a screen, you can see that there are different sections, and I've just taken a closer look at, for example, essential info. Now again, this is a screenshot, but if I was in my actual Asana right now, if I was to click on this link, this would take me to the master document that we use to create and control every single video that we create. That list is creeping up to 600 videos now. It started in March around about 200. So we have really cranked up the pace of the video outputs that we are doing across different styles and across different platforms. So, for example, on this particular project, again, if I was to click on the G Drive folder link, that would take me to this particular project's folder for all the assets, all the bits and pieces that we need to make that job happen. They're all collated together in that folder. And this becomes really important because the sheer volume of work that we are putting through, if you're spending more time looking for things, it just becomes really, really frustrating, and that's when mistakes get made. So by setting everything up correctly in the essential info section, it means that we can work more effectively. And you'll also probably notice, which I will come to in a little while, 2 of these items actually needed an approval stage, and they have been marked as approved. So it means that a very quick visual, anyone related to that particular task knows that they can now move ahead and get their task done. So why are we using Asana? Now, some of you who may be a little bit old school and can go back probably 2 or 3 decades might remember, if they worked in a production environment, the old system of having a job card, which would actually physically move along a physical board through some slots where the job card would move along, so that you could see the progress of that job card through the system or through the production line or manufacturing line. This is almost a digital version of that system, but the beauty of this is that we can work on things all at the same time. We don't have to wait for things to move from department to department or person to person. We can actually work on things simultaneously. So for example, you can see on this little screenshot I've done, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 individuals with a different variety of tasks, but they're all working on it on Monday. Everyone is able to start their part of the process at the same time, but we're all hooked into the same project, so it doesn't matter. We don't have to wait 5 days for 5 different people to finish their tasks. This allows us to all get going, and again, like I say, it helps with the productivity because we can all get that job done that much faster. Another great feature within Asana, which we're finding really, really useful, is automating when a task is actually completed. Because, as I've just described in the previous slide, if 5 people are working on a job, how do we know when they've finished and the next person is available to then pick up the baton and start their part of the job? Well, again, here, this is where we've brought in automation. So, for example, and you will have to realize, obviously, this is a screenshot. I can't go into the actual Asana right here. This has been marked immediately as ready for review. So it's a really good, quick visual for the person who needs to pick this up to know that Ruby has finished her task, is ready for review, they can pick up and run with it. And same here, it's already been marked as approved, so that person can then, the next team or section can now pick up and take on their tasks. So communication within Asana is also really easy. One of the joys of Asana is that it can integrate with many, many apps which are very familiar to all of us. However, we at the moment are using Asana by trying to keep everything within that complete community or home of Asana. So for example, there is a particular task here, which has just been highlighted here. I've just picked it up as a highlight. It says to check the TEMI. But I needed to send a little message to a team member. So this is a zoom in now. If I was to click inside the check TEMI task that I just showed you, I get a more detailed view of some of the activity related to that particular task, which was to check the TEMI. So earlier on, I sent a message to my team member to say, I've already done this job. You don't need to do anything at the weekend. Incidentally, you know, we don't flog everyone over every weekend. Nelvir had chosen to do a particular task at the weekend if I needed him to, but we've not needed to do it. And he's just given me a quick reply to say, I've noted, I know that that's happened. However, without me going into that project, of course, I wouldn't know that he's replied to me, but I do have the additional communication feature, which is a great feature in Asana, which is an inbox, an Asana inbox, as opposed to your email inbox. So if I was to go into my inbox and look through a filter for anywhere where my name has been mentioned using the @ symbol, that same task that I just showed you within the detail of the project has now come up in my inbox. So I can see lots and lots of different tasks. The check TEMI task happens to be highlighted where I left my cursor as I took this screenshot. And again, the detail view is on the right-hand side. And if you note, this is exactly the same message that I was given through the project card. But this means that on an active ad hoc basis. You can check your inbox and you can keep a really close handle of anything that's happening spur of the moment. So the project card is great for systemizing your tasks and everybody following that system. But of course, things happen on a job. There might be some additional communication, a quick query, something that needs sorting out urgently. This is where the inbox becomes really powerful. Another great feature of Asana is that some tasks, or as many tasks as you like in fact, can sit in multiple projects. So for example, there is a task here which says blog posts complete. So that's a little reminder that needs my approval to say that all these staff members have completed their tasks. So this is just a quick check that we have in place, a quick audit check. The highlighted line, if I was to click in this within Asana, would give me a detail view. And what this is showing me in the detail view is that this particular task of the blog post being complete is actually sitting in 2 other projects. So a task can almost spin off into a whole different project with a whole different team for them to then pick up and carry on with their jobs. So you're able to sit, as you can see, this particular task is sitting in a total of 3 different projects. It's not necessary for every single task, but this particular one it is, because it means that this is going into the live video sample, so we know the collection of videos that are sitting in our sample collection. And it's also really vital that it sits in our overview calendar. This overview calendar is what controls all our posting, so that we know exactly which posts are going out on which date, which time, and how many platforms. So again, a really useful feature that you can keep things in multiple projects. You can also close off the view to different team members. So the teams that can see this project in its entirety on this particular card and on this particular project may not necessarily be the same team, and indeed they are not in our case, on the overview calendar. So you're able to fragment jobs and take them forward as you need to, with visibility in the right places. We then come to reports. So I did say I'm not going to spend too long on this because it is a very detailed area within Asana. So I've just done one quick screenshot to show you, for example, all the tasks that are due for me specifically today. So that overwhelm of 77,000 tasks that you saw at the beginning, they're actually spread right across our team. But of course, I need to be able to find the jobs that I need to be worried about. Let's say today, I can put in any number of filters. I can look at the historical ones. I can look at out-of-date ones. I can look at forward planning ones. That doesn't really matter. And I can see straight away that I've got a number of projects that are due today. I can also see very quickly that, right, 434, there's at least 2 tasks there that are related to that one. 423, clearly there's quite a lot of activity happening on 423. It's a great snapshot to say, actually, 423 had gone through my radar. If I go directly into that project now, I'll probably be able to clear down 2 or 3 of these items that are actually making my list quite long. So that's, again, like I say, reporting is not for today, but you can see the flexibility and the reporting capabilities of Asana. So how do you manage 88 odd projects without having to go into each and every individual job? Because that long list I showed you at the beginning of this presentation against the black background, that's 88 projects all listed in Asana, which clearly you cannot rely on clicking in and out of each individual project to see which tasks are actually assigned to you. And we use a portfolio feature within Asana. So just to give you a very quick overview of this. So for example, if you set up your portfolio, almost like an actual physical portfolio, every single individual project that you want to sit under a collective portfolio, you add into a portfolio. So for example, I have this particular portfolio, which is the SFD content marketing portfolio, where every single job that is a video for our business sits in that portfolio. What this then does, it collates together all the jobs. This is just the top 6 or 7, and it will give me a very quick overview of what's going on with these jobs. I can see the progress bar to see how far we are close to completion. If there are any due dates, I can see that we are still a long way off from this particular one. I've also got a red flag here. There's one particular overdue task. I can set priorities. I think it's on the next slideshow for you to show you. And it just means that this allows you to keep a very careful eye on priorities, overdue tasks, status and task progress as they are happening. And it means that you get a really good handle. As manager level, you can keep an eye on the jobs. You're actually almost a bit of a light touch on all of these. I do not go into 88 projects every day to see where they're up to. I can get the snapshot I need to on this view and then pick up on any queries that might be flagging up. And I think I did do another one. Yes, here we are. So for example, just to show you, these are all set out as high priority. The ones that are grayed out have already been completed and are archived. These two are still live jobs, but they're almost at completion. So there's probably last couple of tasks and they will also complete off the system. And just to summarize, what does Asana let you do? It allows you to systemize a list of tasks very, very easily. And I've just given you a screenshot of some of our processes, but you would literally start with a blank piece of paper. You can build that list and start create the sections as you need it to be. It means that you'll never forget a task. So there's actually nowhere to hide. Sometimes as organizations grow sometimes a bit too fast, it can be very easy for individuals to almost hide behind, well, I thought someone else was doing it. I didn't realize that was one of my tasks. There is no hiding place with Asana. Your tasks are assigned by a person. You've also got dates in there. You've also got all the reporting features and portfolio features. So it's a great way of managing multiple projects across multiple teams. As I've just shown you, you can create detailed reports so that you can make sure nothing does actually accidentally slip through the net. And of course, portfolios allows you to manage all the jobs and get an overview of activities and workloads. And a feature that I didn't touch on very much today, you can also integrate with other apps. So for example, Asana is very popular with people that want to use Slack for their offline communications because it can integrate back in. You can use Harvest time tracking kind of apps, and there are many, many others. So too many to list here. If you were to take a quick look on Asana, you can go into the help and you can look at all their assets in there and you can have a little play around. I would also recommend, if you're new to Asana or thinking of considering Asana, their Asana Academy is absolutely brilliant. They have made so many videos and posts, etc., that you can go and search and find the topic that you're after. They also very regularly have live Asana training sessions that you can book into and ask your questions interactively. I've got to say the Asana team are excellent. They really do know the system inside out, and I've yet to hear a question being asked of them that they don't know the actual answer to, or a solution, because often there is more than one way of doing something. But the team will always give you a very thorough couple of options that you can explore that will suit your needs and your business best. And with that, we come to the end of today's presentation. Thank you so much for being with me today. I hope you found it useful. We as a business are not just about Google Ads and video marketing. To make all of that happen, we need to be extremely organized, and this is how we are managing some of our tasks. I'm just going to have a quick look on my screen just to see what is happening here on the comments. Thank you, Arthur. Thank you for being with us. Is this free or paid for? So we are on the paid model, Chloe. We need to be, because that's where you unlock the features such as portfolios, etc. But you don't have to be. You can be on the entry level one, and that will still give you a huge amount of functionality. So Sarah, how do you deal with projects that will always start off with the same SOP or set of tasks? For instance, our website projects always start off with the same list of tasks. So that's really a nice, easy one, Sarah. Basically, what you would do is set up a template. So for example, it might be website project. And in that template, all your standard repetitive tasks, and that's another feature I didn't touch on today, which is recurring tasks, would go into that template. When you get a new client come on board and you need to onboard them, you would hit use template, and that will then give you an individual project. So let's say project X, website project X. You would then be able to go into Website Project S on the Asana and tick off and repeat all those tasks for that project. If there's a particular line that you don't need, a task that didn't actually apply for that client, you can just delete it. It doesn't really matter. And that way you can get all those repetitive tasks done and dusted. And so I was also asking, is there an easy way to store that list somewhere and then duplicate it each time you start a specific project? Yes, actually, that's the same follow-on. So yes, as a template. So more than happy to help you, Sarah. If you want to reach out to us, we will be more than happy to support you and give you some tips as to how we do that. And what other have you used prior to this? Yes, so Chloe, we prior to this used to use Trello. We've also experimented with Basecamp. Of course, spreadsheets still featured quite heavily. They still feature reasonably heavily now, but we really are trying to use spreadsheets really as a parking place for the master list, rather than going offline, pulling bits of information from a spreadsheet, then trying to pull it back in Asana, because if it belongs with the project, it belongs with the project. It doesn't need to be sitting elsewhere. You shouldn't have to go off into a doc or something else to try and collate that information together. So we go very, very almost granular into each and every project. And like I say, those 88 that I've shown you today are almost identical, but they're projects in their own right. So it's really important that their information stays within there. And we've got a couple more. Sarah's admitting that it's so easy. It's always easy when you know how. I've never used Asana before, but would like to use it. If you could please advise me where I can see free tutorial how to use it. Yes, so if you go onto the Asana website, if you go into the top right hand corner, there is I think an orange button. And if you click in there, you will find the help and how to use Asana and all the free material that they've got on there. So hopefully you should be able to find that. Again, if you do get stuck, please do just drop us an email. I'm sure we'll be able to point you in the right direction. And I think with that, we've come to the end. So thank you so much for those questions. I hope those answers helped you. If you do need a more detailed answer, of course, more than happy to help you. Just reach out to me and I will give you those answers. Thank you once again. I hope those productivity tips have helped you tonight. With Teams. Does it integrate with Teams? So Chloe, I have not tried to integrate it with Teams. There's a huge list actually on Asana of the apps that it will integrate with. I'm more than certain it would do, because that's one of the big ones and one of the main ones. So yes, I would say it would do, but you can check it. There is a big list actually, and you can just see it immediately as to who it's integrated with. So going as a CRM tool. Nikhil, can we use Asana as a CRM tool? You can. We are not at the moment. We've gone a different route. We're actually using ActiveCampaign as our CRM. Historically, we have used Capsule and good old spreadsheets to keep an eye on all our CRM. I don't know the size of your business, Nikhil, but if you are small to medium, I would advise you have a quick look at something like Capsule. An excellent app. I did do a brief overview on it last week, so do look at last week's video and you'll see Capsule does get mentioned in there. That has been extremely effective, especially when you used to have the Portrait Studio and we had a huge number of contacts regularly coming in as strangers, becoming leads, becoming customers, and so on. So you're able to actually nurture quite well through Capsule and tying in with your email marketing software as well. You can create tags, etc. So I would suggest probably not Asana. Again, you can explore Asana's Help Academy and you'll find a number of case studies of real life applications, businesses, big organizations that are using Asana in different ways. And you probably will find that there are some that are using Asana as a CRM system. And that's it. I think I've got a couple of thank yous in there. Thank you so much, everyone, once again, for being with me today. I hope you found it useful, and I look forward to sharing some more knowledge with you next week. I will be back Friday, 4 o'clock is my slot. The rest of the week, please do join us there. He will be here to answer all your Google Ads, video marketing and YouTube marketing questions. Have a great weekend, and I will see you next time. Thank you.